Guys, I'm back. And no, I wasn't just at the Kentucky Derby with this beautiful thing on my head. We're about to make this guy. And I really like his style. Okay, I just wanted to let you guys know, I forgot all about this. So I just wanted to let you know that I did buy one of these skulls from Dollar Tree with a tiny head. And I popped off the head. As you see, it comes off really easy. And then I peeled the sticker off the bottom here of a skull because I bought a big skull. Okay, and I made a little cut in where I wanted the skull to be. Now you can place your skull, you know, you can tilt it however you want to tilt it. Okay, but I made a little hole on where I wanted it to go with an X-Acto knife. You can use anything really. This isn't really, it's really not that thick and hard to get through. Once I did that, I hot glued, I made the hole very tiny, much tinier than the top of this, okay, so that it would stay. So once I did that, I pulled this back out, and then I hot glued it, and you are going to have to sit there, unfortunately, and hold it until it's dry enough for you to take your hands away. When you can take your hands away, then start adding, once this is stuck in the bottom here, then start building up your layers of glue so that this is really secured on there. And that will give you the head for the big guy. Okay? Okay, I'm going to show you everything you're going to need to make this project. So first, you're going to need one of these skulls from Dollar Tree that come on the little stand. You're going to need a hot glue gun. You're going to need some craft wire. You're going to need some rocks that you can buy at Dollar Tree. A pack of butterflies from Dollar Tree. A bird from Dollar Tree. Random little small flowers. They can be flowers and a couple leaves. These can be flowers that are extra from another project or whatever. You're not going to need that many. We're going to need a small little wreath, some raffia, different colored mosses, light, dark. If you only want one color moss, that's fine too. Some twine, some paintbrushes, some snips, black paint, white paint, red paint, orange paint, brown paint, and this is chocolate brown, and last but not least, island green verde. It's kind of like an aqua bluish color, and something that will resemble an egg. You'll need 3 of those. I have this, came from Potpourri. I don't know what it is, a walnut shell, I don't know. But anyhow, if you didn't have any potpourri to dig into, you could use a rock that's shaped like an egg, or carve a piece of foam into an egg shape and paint it, or you can use some kind of nut that has a shell similar to the shape and size of an egg. Also, possibly, maybe, not sure yet, we need something for eyes. I'm either going to use rocks, or I'm going to use these marble things that you put in a vase for flowers, which are also sold at Dollar Tree. And I also have these little foam moss covered rock things. I'm not sure if I'm going to use these or not, to be honest. But you can always save them for another project if we don't use them on this. I think that's it. All right. So your first step is going to be obviously to paint this entire guy black and let it dry, which I already have done. Then you're going to take whatever flowers you're using. Now you don't want them huge because the skeleton is not huge. If you put a huge flower down here, it's going to look ridiculous. So you want them on the smaller size. And what I did was just twisted them around the wire, and the leaf I just twisted around and I twisted this flower around the wire and another leaf, and then I twisted the wire around the base. And you can manipulate the wire in whatever fashion you want to make it pleasing to you. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some brown paint, and I mixed it here. You want to get a brown paint and just a tiny, tiny little amount. Add it to some white so you get an off-white colored paint. And that's what I'm going to paint my skull with. I'm going to go over top of the black with this, dry brushing it. Okay, so that's the next step, is to dry brush the head. Okay, and I'll be right back when I'm done with that. Now remember, when you dry brush, you're going to dip in the paint, and then you're going to take a paper towel, and you're going to wipe off as much as you can. And then whatever's left on here, you're gently going to rub across the top of the skull. You're not going to dig it in the crevices or cracks. It's simply going to be gently pulled along the top. And do not do inside the eyes, the teeth, or the nose just yet. Well, actually, you can do the teeth, but not inside the nose or the eyes. And if any of your black comes off, like right here a tiny bit did, just touch it up. All right, I'll be back after I'm done with that. Okay, I'm done with my off-white color. Also, you can paint your little eggs in that island green color. Now we're going to take some brown, mix it with some black, some orange, and a tiniest drop of red. And just keep mixing it until you get the brown color that you like. I like this. It's kind of rusty. I wanted a rusty looking color, but this is all right. All right, so now you're just going to take some of this brown color, wipe your brush, and you're going to go on the highest points, like his head right here, his little brow bone. Around the eyes. Okay. If you want it a little darker, you can always go over it again. Little cheekbone here. Down here, the little line that connects the jaw, the cheekbone to the jaw, and down here as well. Around the jaw on the bottom, in the very back. And this isn't done. You're going to have to sit here and play with this. It's very dark, so you're going to have to come back in with the ivory colored paint again, and you're going to have to, if you have too much brown in the spot and you don't like it, you're going to have to go over it a little bit. Work it out till you like what you see. Blend it. All right? See what a difference that makes? And then you're also going to have to touch up parts of the black. You're going to have to redo the eye sockets inside the nose. You might have to do some of these fine cracks in by the teeth. Okay, so keep going with that until you have his whole face finished. Blending, switching back and forth. You know, you want to do the teeth area here. Just brush gently. Do not get the brown on the teeth. You don't want the brown to go on the teeth. You just want it to go on the little spaces that are above the teeth. If you hear any screaming in the background, I apologize. It's my husband playing Call of Duty. Okay, and just keep doing that. And we're going to come back in later and go, you know, in here with some more black, brighten it up a little bit. If you ever put too much on the side like that, take your paper towel real quick and dab it off. And if it doesn't come off right, just paint it black and redo the black, let it dry, do the white again over top, and then go back with your brown. All right, I am going to finish this and I'll be back. I'm just going to show you a little bit of how I'm doing it, how I'm painting it. And whatever you do, don't drag your brush. Tap it onto the piece. And once you go back over with the light color, if there's any spot where you want to add the brown back, then just go and touch it back up again. But I would put the brown underneath and let the white stay on top. And then switch to your other brush. Tap into your light color, tap it off. See where it's all dark? Just go right over top of it. Blending it in. That's all you're doing. See the difference between this and this? Then you're going to get some black paint and get a brush that's a finer brush that you can do a little bit of detail work with. Small little brush like this. Go in your black paint. We're not wiping any of the paint off now, and we're just going to go and repaint like the nose holes. Trying not to ruin the rest of the paint job here that we just did. The eye holes, we're going to make them darker. And if you want to go back into those spots down by the teeth, then just go back in there and fix that paint up a little bit. And if you want to do the sides here, what I would suggest is wiping off some and then gently coming back in here, carefully coming back in here and applying it. Don't go crazy. Little areas like that you want to stand out more on the face. You could take the black paint and go in all the crevices if you wanted, but I kind of feel like if you go too crazy with that, it looks more cartoony than real, and we don't want it to look cartoony. So, all right. All right. I think that's good. Now, what we're going to do is wrap some twine around this skinny part here. Just wrap it around and glue it. Then what I want you to do is take some raffia, whatever color you want, and take your little wreath and just start wrapping your raffia around the little wreath. All right? Just start wrapping it around. Once you have it wrapped all the way around, just glue it up. Okay, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to wrap the twine around. And then what you also can do is glue some rocks at the bottom of where the twine is, around this base part here. Okay? I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got the twine on. I glued my rocks around the base. Okay, all the way around. I put my raffia around my wreath, and you're going to want to make sure that this is going to fit his head, because that's where it's going to go. I did have some, I don't know what you call them. I call them dingleberries. I know dingleberries are a whole nother story, but I have no better name to call it than a dingleberry. So this is my dingleberry that I got off of some of the old flowers that I already had, that I just cut the stem off and glued in here. If you don't have this, you can use polymer clay, roll it up into a ball. If you have red polymer clay, if you don't have red polymer clay, you can paint it. If you don't have polymer clay, you can use a rock, you can use beads, foam, and just glue that into place and paint it. And I glued my eyes on the very, very edge of the eye socket, not way deep down inside, on the very, very edge, to make it look like his eyes are sunken in more than what they are. Okay, so our next step will be to take, I want you to take green, very green. There are different shades of green. This is really bright green in the bag, this bag here. This bag here is very bright, even though you cannot see it through the bag. It would be smart if I put that down, right? And showed you. Okay, see how bright green this is compared to this? As I drop it on the floor. I'm having a great night. All right, here we go. My God. It's the dingleberries that got me going now. I'm all excited about dingleberries. damn dingleberries. You have bright green, and then you have lighter green, and then you have like grass that kind of looks like it's dead. What the idea here is, we're going to transition. I'm trying to make this piece organic and use things that are organic, like flowers, even though they're not real flowers. Flowers, twine, rock, moss, dingleberries, you know, things that you would find outside, basically. And I want to make the bottom living with the bright green moss. We're going to cover this whole area in the bright green moss, and then slowly make it climb up the rocks and up his head, and then go under his chin. And then we're going to start just a tiny bit, and we're going to work some of that dead color on the top of the skull. We're not covering the entire skull. We're just going to do snippets here and there, like the moss is growing and creeping up over the skull. All right, and I'm going to go from very bright to dead looking moss up top. The idea is alive on the bottom, dead on the top, and then we're going to put the wreath on the top of the head, which is going to be turned into a bird's nest, hence the blue eggs and the bird. So basically we're going from life to death to back to life, circle of life. There you go. All right. So very carefully with your hot glue gun. I'll be back after many attempts from my glue gun to try to murder me, and many blisters. So please be careful when you're doing this part, to get the moss on this part, the very bright moss, and start creeping it over the rocks just a tiny bit. I would say just this far, just this tiny little bit right here, and no farther. I'll be back once that's done. Okay, I'm back, and I started to creep the lighter green up the side of the skull. Okay, you're going to use it very sparingly. You're not going to make it as heavy as you did on the bottom. On the bottom, you can go pretty heavy and put a lot on. As you're going up, don't make it really heavy. And you can even use scissors and cut pieces off that you think are sticking out too far, or it looks too bulky. You can give it a trim. So you don't want this to look really heavy, okay? Then you're going to just do a tiny bit of this going up the side, maybe a little bit more over here, and then switch to the dead looking colored grass or moss. And don't be scared to skip spots. Leave a space and then glue some over here. All right? And then go back down on this side with that light green. 1 for the glue gun, 0 for me. 1 burn already. We'll see how many I get at the end of this. All right, I'm back. Now I got this dead grass, this dead moss looking stuff on the top of his head, and it's looking like hair, but I can assure you it's not hair. It's going to be the inside of the bird's nest that we're going to put on top of his head. So most of it's going to be covered up. There's going to be a little bit creeping out under there, okay? But you'll see where you want to put more of this lighter color. Oops, sorry. It would help if I was in frame. You'll see where you want to put more of this lighter colored moss, okay? Like in the back, you might want to put some more going down. Okay, we don't want to cover up our whole paint job because we want to show everybody all our hard work that we did for our paint. But don't be afraid to add some more of that. Then what we're going to do is glue this wreath on top. Then you can glue your eggs in the top of that. After that, you can glue your bird in on top of your nest. You can either glue him on the side or glue him on the top of the eggs, whatever you choose, and glue your butterfly to the bigger flower. All right, so let me glue all that stuff on and I'll come back. Okay, I'm back, and I just added 2 little more flowers and a leaf in the front to finish off the front a little bit. And I have an extra butterfly. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on or not. I mean, you could put it on down here, or you could put it up top here. If I can get it to stay. or you can completely leave it off. It's up to you. Your creation, your design. You are in charge of how it goes. So I hope you liked this tutorial. Oh, to mention too, I did put a little bit of extra of the dead looking moss on the back up around the edges of the wreath to fill it up a little bit. But you decide where you want it. If you want to add the second butterfly, go ahead. If you don't, you don't have to. I hope you enjoyed this. It was something different. Something that I've never seen done before. I wanted to do something kind of organic and crazy. And I hope you enjoyed it. I am going to get this mess cleaned up before my husband sees this. It looks like I went outside and took all the lawn clippings and threw them up in my craft room. So I'm going to get busy on cleaning. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. You're amazing. You are awesome. You rock.